Hello, my name is Nathan Kiwere. I'm an art historian, critic, and a writer from Uganda. My talk is about the power and legacy of the Totems ideology. Now, history tells us that when animals were scarce, Kintu, with the common consent of his people, made the rule that certain kinds of animals should be taboo to certain families. Thus, those particular species of animals were left to other families, and the animals were given a better chance of multiplying than if every man had been free to hunt every species for food. Each family abstained from that particular kind of animal of which they had partaken with ill results, and that animal was tabooed by them and became their totem. Now, why is this important? About 13 years ago, a friend and colleague of mine called Taga Nwagaba, who is Uganda's leading realism and wildlife painter, was traveling south of the capital, Kampala, about 160 kilometers away, when the driver of the van in which he was traveling spotted a squirrel-like creature that was playing right in the middle of the road. This driver went straight for the kill. He trailed it and carefully made sure it does not escape his way. He ran over it immediately. It died. His conductor asked him, "Hey, what have you killed this time around?" And he said, "Well, it's no more than some useless creature from the bush." Now, there happened to be an elderly man that was seated right next to my friend Taga, who corrected the driver, and he said, "Look, what you just killed is not just any creature. It is called a civet." Now, the mere mention of the word civet sent this man, the driver, into a big panic. He began to sweat. He began to almost lose his consciousness. In fact, he had to pull over, and he asked his conductor to come and take over the wheels. Of course, this sent some kind of concerns to the passengers, the 13 passengers in the van. They were asking, what has happened to our driver? Why is he looking so sick all of a sudden? And the driver confessed and said, "Look, I have just killed my totem." Wow, that was quite a story, because then the rest of the members, the passengers who were in the van, understood why this man was reacting that way. Probably they would have reacted the same way in his position. And what happened is, Taga, who witnessed this story, this incident, firsthand, his mind went racing about two things. Number one, if Sengeno, the driver, only knew what his totem looked like, what a civet looked like, he probably would never have done what he did. So probably he was so much enthusiastic about his totemic culture, and yet he did not know what his totem looked like. And Taga was thinking, how many more people in his place are so enthusiastic about their totems, and yet they do not know what they look like? But secondly, and most importantly, what was it about this totemic thing that would cause a mature man like Sengeno to go into such a panic, to even fail to finish the rest of his journey? This is the story of totems. A totem, in very simple terms, is a symbol that represents a group of people that is called a clan. Now, a totem might be in many forms. It can be an animal, it can be a cow, an elephant, a leopard, anything. It might be a bird, it can be a tree, it can be any part of vegetation. So totems are so diverse that it's almost impossible to find a creature out there that is not totemic to the people of Uganda. Now, as much as this culture has been practiced over 1,000 years, since 1200 AD, when Kintu made this declaration, Uganda has up to 35 million people, and each one of these people has his or her own totem. And these people have been conserving these totems for over 1,000 years. That is quite spectacular. Last year, around November, Taga, the gentleman I've just told you about that was in this van, and myself teamed up to write a book which we called Totems of Uganda, Buganda edition. We launched it last year, and the purpose of this book was to create awareness about totems, first and foremost among the people of Uganda, so that things or situations like what Sengendo did don't happen again. But most importantly, we sought to reach out to the global community and create awareness about totems in a way that many people in the world can actually take up a totem and call it their own. Our mission is to create a nature-conscious society by making sure each and every one gets a totem. And our mission is to get up to 1 billion people get totems by the year 2040, and that starts with